What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been like a couple weeks since I've put up a video, so I'm super excited to be filming another video today to start getting back active on my channel. Kind of took a little bit of time away for the Thanksgiving holiday. Not just that, but it was also poor planning on my part. I didn't really have time to film any videos recently. So I'm really trying to get back in the habit of trying to put out weekly videos. I would like to try and knock out 2 in 1 week, not necessarily this week, but over the week of Christmas, so that I'm still able to put out a video that week as well. Now, you may notice there's something a little bit different about me today. If you follow my Instagram, you already know about this. If you don't follow my Instagram and you just follow my YouTube, or you just happen to come across this video, I know it's probably a little hard to see in the light here, but I did dye my hair pink a couple weeks back. No, I'm not having a mental breakdown. It was just something fun I wanted to do. Turns out it was actually really good for my hair. But yeah, I just wanted to do something that made me like, I guess, uncomfortable, stepping out of my comfort zone a little bit, and it just seemed like something kind of fun to do, since I can do that. So yeah, so I have pink hair. It's a little bit faded right now, but not a big deal. I'm either gonna touch it up or change the color in the near future. Aside from the color itself, my hair is an absolute mess right now. I'm totally aware of that, but you know what, that's fine. That's life. This is what 2020 looks like. So here we go. Now, the thing that I really wanted to talk about today is because I have gotten this question a number of times over the past couple months. Especially, I think that my Instagram has kind of blown up a little bit over the last couple weeks, and I've been getting this question a little bit more increasingly. So the topic that I really wanted to talk about today is if you're trying to learn programming, like, where and how do you get started? This is one of the things that makes programming really difficult if you're going the self-taught route, especially, and that is that there's not really a clear guideline in where you should start, what you should learn, what you should focus on, and things like that. So it kind of makes it hard to have a sense of direction and know what to focus on. Now, this first thing that I'm going to say is kind of a matter of opinion, and if you're doing web development, this is kind of an advantage that you don't get with certain other programming languages, and that is that you get this sort of visual satisfaction really early on that you can't really get with a lot of other programming languages. So if you're a visual person, learning web development is going to be very advantageous to you, because the place that I would really recommend starting is going to be learning just basic vanilla HTML and CSS. And the reason that I recommend HTML and CSS first is, granted, these are not technically programming languages. One is a markup language, one is a styling type language, but you can actually do quite a bit with these even as a beginner. You can actually build a pretty basic looking website using just HTML and CSS. You can't do a whole lot regarding like interactivity and like functionality without having JavaScript, but it gives you something tangible to look at very early on, and that can be pretty motivating to a lot of people. This was actually one of the reasons that I kind of failed at learning Python like 3 years ago, was because I started learning Python before I tried learning anything else, and I found it difficult because I couldn't really like see any tangible results of what I was doing. And I think maybe that would have been a little bit different if I had started with HTML and CSS. Now, as far as where you can learn these at, there's literally infinite resources on the internet. The number one place that I would probably recommend for starting with HTML, CSS is probably Free Code Camp. Number one, because it's free. Two, it's really just text-based, so you don't need any kind of crazy internet connection or crazy setup to do it. They have a built-in code editor that you can use on their site, and you don't really need anything crazy to get started with HTML and CSS. After you get down the basics and fundamentals of HTML and CSS, the next thing you're probably going to want to look into is going to be JavaScript. And I say JavaScript instead of something like Python or Java or any of those other languages, because every website on the internet consists of HTML and CSS. You have your HTML to provide the structure, you have your CSS to provide the styling, and you have your JavaScript to provide the functionality. Every website on the internet is going to use these three things. And when you have all three of these, you can do some pretty cool stuff, and you can definitely start building some pretty interesting projects even before you get into frameworks and libraries and things like that. I believe out of the three of these, the one that is going to take you the longest and most effort to learn is definitely going to be JavaScript. It does take a lot of time still to get really good with HTML and CSS, especially CSS, because it can be really tricky to learn, and it's really finicky in a lot of areas. But JavaScript is definitely the one that has the largest set of fundamentals to learn, and there's ever-changing things happening within the language. So and it's not just the language itself. Then you have all the frameworks and libraries that go on top of it. So there's definitely enough there to keep you busy for the rest of your life, honestly, because it's always changing. And similar to HTML and CSS, there's tons of available places out there that you can learn JavaScript for close to free, but very inexpensive options. There are a lot of JavaScript lessons on Free Code Camp as well. But you may also want to check out some resources that have some more in-depth and probably better quality material, like videos and quizzes and things like that, such as like Team Treehouse. One of my personal favorites is Colt Steele's Web Developer Bootcamp course. I'll see if I can put a link in the description below for that, because he's got a fantastic course that covers, like pretty much the entire scope of things, including some libraries and frameworks. So there's a lot to unpack and learn there. It's a very good course. I've taken it myself quite a while back, and I know that he just recently added a bunch of stuff to it. So I can only imagine that it's even better than it was before. These are definitely just the beginning. When it comes to learning web development and programming, there is pretty much absolutely an endless amount of information out there to absorb and learn from. As well as learning from the people around you. And this video really only touches the tip of the iceberg, if you can even say it's that much. I'm like literally just barely scraping the top. But seriously guys, check out some of these resources. They're awesome. I'll put a couple links in the description below. But yeah, definitely check them out. And this is like the most high level possible discussion that we can have about this, because there's literally so much to it. But no matter who you ask, if you're trying to learn web development, those are definitely going to be the three highest level things that you have to learn first before you can learn anything else: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. That's pretty much all I got for you guys today. I really just wanted to talk about this topic. Like I said, I've been asked this a couple times. Where can I learn programming? Where can I learn web development? How do I know where to get started? Honestly, like the hardest part of it is just being committed to it and sticking to it. I think one of the biggest reasons why people fail at becoming developers is because they quit too early. I don't think this is necessarily for everyone, but a large amount of people, I think, do possess the capacity to do this. They just kind of learn later on that it's not for them, and or it's too hard, it's harder than they thought, and they just kind of lose interest in it. And that's fine, it's not for everybody. But for those that are really interested in getting started and seeing if it's for you, this is a great place to start. Best of luck on your developer journeys, everybody. Be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. But that's all I got for you guys today, and I will catch you guys next time.